It's often asked whether a single, seemingly minor habit can profoundly transform one's health and offer robust protection against the most daunting ailments. Such a claim might seem incredible, almost too good to be true. Yet, what if it were proven that both modern scientific data and ancient wisdom align on this very point? An individual's daily choices possess immense power, capable of restoring vitality, significantly enhancing cognitive function, and even substantially reducing the likelihood of developing serious pathologies like cancer or cardiovascular diseases. This article will explore 6 simple, yet extraordinarily effective habits that anyone, especially those over 60, can integrate into their daily lives starting today to fully unlock the body's innate potential for self-repair and healing. From morning hydration to mindful breathing practices, these approaches are not fleeting trends or financially burdensome methods. On the contrary, they are practical, life-transforming steps designed to help individuals rediscover a sense of harmony and well-being within their own bodies. Backed by both real-world testimonials and extensive scientific research, these habits can become the cornerstone for revitalizing energy, bolstering self-esteem, and achieving a more joyful and clear existence on a daily basis. Point 1. Morning hydration. The first habit we'll discuss, despite its apparent simplicity, is often one of the most overlooked in daily wellness practices. It involves consuming 1 or 2 full glasses of pure water immediately upon waking. While this action might seem utterly basic, this modest ritual holds profound and multifaceted benefits, especially relevant for individuals over 60, whose bodies become more susceptible to neglect. After a prolonged night's rest, the human body is in a state of water deprivation for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes even longer. This extended period of dehydration, even if mild, can trigger a chain reaction of negative consequences for physical and mental health, creating fertile ground for problems affecting cognitive function, the circulatory system, and even increasing the likelihood of developing cancerous diseases. Upon waking, the body is often in a state of moderate dehydration. During sleep, there's continuous moisture loss through breathing, perspiration, and various metabolic processes. This seemingly minor water deficit leads to increased blood viscosity, slowed digestive processes, and reduced efficiency in oxygen transport to vital organs like the brain, heart, and kidneys. For older adults, this can manifest as morning apathy, joint stiffness, sluggish digestion, or even brain fog, making it difficult to recall names or focus on daily tasks. Over time, chronic low-grade dehydration can significantly exacerbate inflammatory processes, a key etiological factor in many age-related diseases, including cardiovascular pathologies, arthritis, and even certain forms of cancer. So, why is morning hydration so fundamental? Let's delve deeper. First, it provides immediate and vital support to the cardiovascular system. Dehydrated blood becomes thicker and more viscous, forcing the heart to work harder to ensure its full circulation throughout the body. Such excessive strain can lead to elevated blood pressure and a significantly increased risk of cardiovascular incidents, especially among older adults whose blood vessels may have lost their former elasticity. Consuming water immediately upon waking helps restore optimal blood fluidity, thereby easing the heart's work and significantly improving circulation to all tissues and organs. Second, adequate hydration is critically important for optimal brain function. The human brain is approximately 75% water, and even slight dehydration can negatively impact cognitive functions, causing forgetfulness, reduced concentration, and slowed reactions. A 2019 study published in the prestigious Journal of Nutrition convincingly demonstrated a direct correlation between dehydration in older adults and impaired attention and memory. By restoring the body's water balance in the morning hours, one provides the brain with the necessary resources to maintain mental sharpness, which becomes especially significant for preserving clarity of thought as one ages. Third, morning water intake actively supports the body's natural detoxification systems. The liver and kidneys work tirelessly, performing the vital function of filtering toxins and metabolic waste products, but they require adequate hydration for optimal functioning. Chronic dehydration is associated with an increased risk of kidney stone formation, urinary tract infections, and even certain types of cancer, such as bladder and colorectal cancer. According to research published in authoritative scientific journals like Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention, adequate hydration promotes the efficient elimination of metabolic waste and maintains cellular health, thereby reducing the burden on these vital organs. So, how can you integrate this beneficial habit into your daily life? It's recommended to start your day by consuming 16 to 32 ounces, 450 to 950 milliliters of plain, room temperature water before having coffee, tea, or breakfast. Room temperature water is much gentler on the stomach than ice-cold water, which is especially relevant for older adults who may have a more sensitive digestive system. Some prefer to add a small amount of freshly squeezed lemon juice for vitamin C and a mild digestive effect, or a pinch of high-quality sea salt to replenish electrolytes, especially if they lead an active lifestyle or live in a warm climate. However, plain water is no less effective. The key aspect is consistency and regularity. Consider Harold, an 82-year-old retiree who suffered from borderline hypertension and frequent episodes of forgetfulness. His doctor suggested he start each day with a large glass of filtered water to be sipped slowly over 10 minutes before his usual morning coffee. Harold was skeptical. Could such a simple method truly make a difference? However, after 3 months of consistent morning hydration, his blood pressure readings significantly improved. His energy levels stabilized, and he noticed forgetful moments much less frequently. He humorously remarked, "I thought I was just getting old, but it turns out I was just dehydrated." Harold's story vividly demonstrates a powerful truth. Sometimes the most elementary solutions are the most effective, yet they are often overlooked in favor of more complex and expensive interventions. To firmly establish this habit, it's recommended to keep a glass or reusable water bottle by your bedside or in the kitchen as a constant visual reminder. If the taste of plain water doesn't excite you, try adding natural flavorings like cucumber slices, mint leaves, or a small amount of apple cider vinegar, if your stomach tolerates it well. The main goal is to make this ritual an integral part of your morning routine, much like brushing your teeth. Over time, this small act can significantly improve digestion, reduce joint stiffness, enhance mental clarity, provide extra energy, and strengthen the immune system. A well-hydrated body is a resilient body, much better prepared for the challenges that come with aging. Point 2. Daily brisk walking. The second habit is another seemingly simple practice with enormous transformative potential: daily brisk walking. There's no need to run marathons, conquer mountain peaks, or train like an elite athlete. Simply consistent and purposeful walking can have a profound and multifaceted impact on your health, especially after reaching the age of 60. This low-impact physical activity engages nearly all human body systems, from cardiovascular and respiratory to muscular, joint, and nervous, making it one of the most effective ways to prevent or manage up to 90% of chronic diseases. Walking is far more than just physical exercise. It's a powerful catalyst for improved circulation, which becomes critically important with age. When a person engages in brisk walking for 15 to 30 minutes, their heart rate increases, ensuring active pumping of oxygen-rich blood to organs and tissues. This improved blood flow nourishes the brain, lubricates joints, and helps regulate blood sugar levels by stimulating muscles to absorb glucose from the bloodstream. According to the American Diabetes Association, regular walking can reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by up to 30% in at-risk individuals. This is a significant advantage for older adults who may face issues with insulin resistance. However, the benefits of walking extend far beyond blood sugar control. One of the most remarkable effects of daily walking is its positive impact on brain health. A 2018 study published in the authoritative journal Neurology showed that older adults who regularly engaged in brisk walking experienced an increase in the volume of the hippocampus, a brain region responsible for memory and learning processes. This structural change correlates with improved recall, sharper concentration, and a reduced risk of cognitive decline. For those concerned about forgetfulness, losing keys, or issues with mental clarity, walking can be a powerful tool for keeping the brain active and healthy. Walking also plays a significant role in cancer prevention. While it's not a cure-all, consistent physical activity is associated with a reduced risk of several types of cancer, including colon, breast, and endometrial cancer, according to research from the National Cancer Institute. How does it work? Walking helps regulate hormone balance, particularly estrogen and insulin, imbalances of which can contribute to the development of certain cancers. It also enhances immune surveillance, allowing the body to more effectively identify and eliminate abnormal cells before they become a serious problem. Furthermore, regular walking contributes to a significant reduction in systemic inflammation in the body, which, in turn, creates a less favorable environment for the development and progression of cancerous diseases. To maximize all the benefits of this activity, your walk should be purposeful and energetic. A stroll through a shopping mall or simply around the house will not yield the same effect. Aim for a pace that noticeably elevates your heart rate and causes slight breathlessness, but still allows you to maintain a conversation. This pace is often described as brisk, typically 3 to 4 miles per hour, 5 to 6.5 kilometers per hour, for most people. Naturally swing your arms to engage your upper body, and if possible, walk outdoors to get sunlight, a natural source of vitamin D and fresh air, which significantly improves mood and boosts energy levels. If outdoor walks are not feasible due to weather or safety concerns, a treadmill or indoor walking track will also work perfectly. The main thing is consistency, not striving for perfection. Consider Carol, a 76-year-old woman who started walking daily after her doctor noted her elevated cholesterol levels. Initially, she could only walk 5 minutes around her block, but gradually, step by step, she increased the duration of her walks to 20 minutes each morning. Within 6 months, her cholesterol levels significantly improved, her sleep quality markedly increased, and she rediscovered her love for crossword puzzles, which she had given up due to persistent brain fog. Carol also noticed a significant psychological uplift. Walking gave her a sense of accomplishment and control, counteracting the feeling of helplessness that sometimes accompanies the aging process. Her story highlights the ripple effect of this habit. Physical benefits lead to mental clarity, which, in turn, contributes to emotional resilience. To integrate daily walking into your life, start small if you're new to it. Even 10 minutes makes a difference, and you can gradually increase the duration as your stamina improves. Invest in comfortable, supportive shoes to protect your joints. And consider walking with a friend or listening to music to make it more enjoyable and motivating. The beauty of walking lies in its accessibility. You don't need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or a personal trainer. All you need is a pair of shoes, a safe place to walk, and a commitment to dedicate time to yourself daily. Over time, this habit can restore energy, improve mobility, and bring back a sense of independence that is sometimes lost with age. Point 3. Deep breathing and mindful calm. The third habit might seem unconventional, but its impact on health is undeniable. It involves the daily practice of deep breathing combined with mindful calm. This practice, taking just 5 to 10 minutes a day, can transform your physical and mental health, effectively reducing stress levels, decreasing inflammation, and supporting cognitive function, immunity, and overall resilience. For those over 60, when stress and inflammation can subtly undermine health, this habit is a true breakthrough. Let's start with the scientific basis of deep breathing. When you take slow, deliberate breaths that expand your diaphragm, the muscle located beneath your lungs, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest or rest and restore system. This action effectively counteracts the fight or flight response, governed by the sympathetic nervous system, which is often in a state of hyperactivity due to chronic stress caused by financial difficulties, health issues, or social isolation. Common challenges for older adults. Deep breathing helps lower cortisol levels, reduces heart rate, and calms inflammation, which is a primary driver of many chronic conditions, including heart disease, arthritis, and neurodegenerative disorders like dementia. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Physiology showed that diaphragmatic breathing significantly improves heart rate variability, HRV, a key indicator of cardiovascular health and stress resilience. Higher HRV is associated with better heart health and a lower risk of stroke, which is critically important for older adults. Furthermore, deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, the main nerve connecting the brain to the heart, lungs, and digestive system. This stimulation improves digestion, regulates blood pressure, and promotes a sense of calm, which can significantly enhance sleep quality and mood. Now, let's add mindful calm to this. This doesn't mean complex meditation or chanting mantras. It's simply the practice of sitting quietly, observing your thoughts without judgment, and allowing your mind to settle. When combined with deep breathing, it creates a kind of mental shower, clearing the cognitive clutter that accumulates from daily stressors. For older adults, especially those living alone or coping with grief or anxiety, this practice can be deeply grounding and soothing. This practice fosters emotional resilience, reduces feelings of loneliness, and even boosts immune function by lowering stress hormone levels, as research published in Psychosomatic Medicine in 2018 has shown. So how do you do it? Find a quiet place. It could be your favorite armchair, a park bench, or even just your bed. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if it feels right. And practice a simple breathing pattern. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4, and slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Repeat this for 5 to 10 minutes, focusing solely on the sensation of your breath. If your mind wanders, and it will gently bring it back to your breath without any frustration. Over time, this practice becomes easier and its beneficial effects become more pronounced. Consider Frank, an 82-year-old widower who had struggled with high blood pressure for over a decade, frustrated by medication side effects. He was skeptical when his granddaughter suggested trying deep breathing and mindful calm, but he decided to dedicate 10 minutes to it each morning before breakfast, using a simple breathing exercise app to keep him on track. 2 months later, his blood pressure readings had significantly improved. He became less irritable and rediscovered his love for reading, which he had given up due to concentration difficulties. Frank's experience highlights the biological power of this habit. By calming the nervous system, deep breathing creates a cascade of benefits that ripple throughout the body, from improved digestion to sharper cognition. This practice isn't about achieving perfection or emptying your mind. It's about giving your body and brain a moment to reset. For older adults, it's a way to reclaim control over a body that might feel unpredictable or a mind that feels scattered. It sends a powerful message to every cell. You are safe. You are supported, and you can heal. To get started, set a daily reminder, perhaps linking it to another habit like your morning water intake or evening relaxation. If 10 minutes feels too long, start with 3 minutes and gradually increase the time. Dedicated apps can guide you, but a timer and a quiet space are all you truly need. This habit is a foundation that amplifies the benefits of hydration and walking. By reducing stress and inflammation, it creates an internal environment where your body can repair, regenerate, and thrive. Day by day, you'll notice sharper clarity, reduced tension, and a renewed sense of energy. It's a quiet yet powerful transformation, proving that small actions can yield extraordinary results. Point 4. Cold water exposure. The notion of cold water exposure might conjure images of daredevils plunging into icy lakes or athletes enduring harsh training. But this practice is far more accessible and significantly more beneficial than it first appears. Becoming a cornerstone in the realms of longevity, health, and holistic healing, cold water exposure is a surprisingly simple yet potent habit that anyone, especially older adults, can integrate into daily life. Far from requiring extremes like ice swimming or ice baths, this practice can be as gentle as a short, cool shower, splashing your face and hands with cold tap water, or even immersing your hands in cold water for a few moments. These small, targeted contacts with cold water can trigger a cascade of physiological responses that improve circulation, reduce inflammation, boost mood, and strengthen the body's resilience, offering a natural, drug-free path to vitality. When your skin makes contact with cold water, even for a fleeting 15 to 30 seconds, your body initiates a controlled stress response known as hormesis. This is a process where mild stressors stimulate adaptive, health-promoting changes. It begins with vasoconstriction, where blood vessels temporarily narrow to conserve heat, followed by vasodilation, where they reopen, significantly improving blood flow. This dynamic enhances oxygen delivery to tissues, supports cardiovascular health, and facilitates nutrient distribution throughout the body. Simultaneously, the cold triggers a slowed heart rate and the release of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter and hormone that not only suppresses inflammation but also elevates mood, sharpens mental clarity, and increases alertness. In essence, cold water exposure acts as a natural reset, kick-starting sluggish systems and prompting the body to operate with greater efficiency and energy. Historically, our ancestors were regularly exposed to fluctuating temperatures, wading through cold streams, bathing in cold rivers, or enduring bracing mornings without the luxury of modern heating. This adaptive response of the body to cold is key to its numerous health benefits. It not only improves circulation, but also stimulates the production of white blood cells, strengthening the immune system and enhancing the body's ability to fight infections. For older adults whose immune systems may be weakened, this is particularly valuable. Furthermore, cold exposure activates brown fat, a type of fat tissue that burns calories to generate heat, contributing to healthy weight maintenance and improved metabolism. This can also aid in regulating blood sugar levels and reducing insulin resistance, an important factor in preventing type 2 diabetes. Cold water exposure also has a profound impact on mental health. The release of norepinephrine and endorphins during and after cold exposure can significantly improve mood, reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, and boost energy levels and concentration. Many people report a feeling of euphoria and mental clarity after a cool shower. This is especially beneficial for older adults who may face mood challenges or cognitive decline. Regular cold exposure trains the nervous system to be more resilient to stress, leading to an improved ability to cope with daily challenges. So, how can you safely and effectively integrate cold water exposure into your routine? Start small. After your regular warm shower, turn the faucet to cool water for 15 to 30 seconds. Begin with a comfortable temperature and gradually decrease it as you get used to it. Focus on your breathing, taking deep, slow breaths to help your body adapt. Gradually increase the duration of cold exposure to 1 to 2 minutes. If a full cold shower feels too extreme, try simply splashing your face and neck with cold water or immersing your hands and feet in cold water. Even these small exposures can yield significant benefits. Consider Martha, a 72-year-old woman who suffered from chronic fatigue and mild depression. Her grandson, a wellness enthusiast, suggested she try ending each shower with a 30-second cool rinse. Martha was skeptical, but decided to give it a try. The first few times were a shock, but she noticed she felt more alert and energized afterward. After a month, she found her mood had significantly improved, and her energy levels soared. She even started relying less on her morning coffee. Martha realized that this small, regular stressor on her body actually made her stronger and happier. The key to success is consistency and gradual progression. Don't try to jump into an ice bath immediately. Listen to your body and respect its limits. Over time, you'll find your body adapts, and what once felt like a shock will become invigorating and enjoyable. This habit will not only strengthen your physical health, but also boost your mental resilience, giving you a sense of control and vitality that can be invaluable in older age. Point 5. Quality sleep. The fifth habit, often underestimated but absolutely fundamental for longevity and overall well-being, is prioritizing quality sleep. In today's world, where productivity and constant activity are often glorified, sleep is frequently viewed as a luxury or even a sign of laziness. However, For individuals over 60, and indeed for all ages, sleep is not merely rest, but an active and vital process that plays a central role in body restoration, immune system strengthening, memory consolidation, and emotional balance. During sleep, your body isn't just resting. It's actively engaged in critically important repair and recovery processes. The brain clears metabolic waste products that accumulate throughout the day, including beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. The immune system produces cytokines, proteins that fight infections and inflammation. Muscles repair themselves, and hormones regulating appetite, mood, and energy levels come into balance. Lack of sleep, especially chronic deprivation, can lead to a cascade of negative consequences: an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, weakened immunity, impaired cognitive function, and even an increased risk of certain cancers. For older adults, who often experience fragmented sleep or insomnia, these risks are even more pronounced. Studies published in authoritative journals like Sleep and JAMA Internal Medicine have repeatedly demonstrated that insufficient or poor quality sleep in older adults is linked to an increased risk of dementia, falls, depression, and reduced quality of life. For example, a 2019 study published in Neurology showed that older adults who regularly slept less than 6 hours experienced a faster decline in cognitive function compared to those who slept 7 to 8 hours. This underscores that sleep is not just a passive state, but an active process that supports brain and body health. So, how can you ensure quality sleep? Start by creating a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock. Establish a relaxing bedtime ritual. This could be a warm bath, reading a book, light stretching, or listening to calming music. Avoid screens, TV, phone, tablet, an hour before bed, as blue light suppresses melatonin production, the sleep hormone. Ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. The optimal temperature for sleep is around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Avoid caffeine and alcohol, especially in the afternoon and evening. While alcohol may induce drowsiness, it disrupts sleep cycles, leading to fragmented and less restorative rest. Regular physical activity, such as daily walking, also significantly improves sleep quality, but try not to engage in intense exercise immediately before bedtime. If you suffer from insomnia, consider consulting a doctor who can rule out underlying medical conditions or suggest cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, which is a highly effective non-pharmacological approach. Consider Robert, a 78-year-old man who had struggled with insomnia for years, waking up multiple times a night and feeling perpetually tired. His doctor suggested he reevaluate his sleep habits. Robert began going to bed at the same time, turning off the TV an hour before sleep, and reading a book. He also started taking 30-minute walks each day. Within a few weeks, Robert noticed a significant improvement. He started falling asleep faster, waking up less often, and feeling more rested and energetic in the mornings. His ability to concentrate throughout the day also improved, and he noticed his mood became more stable. Robert's story highlights that sleep is not a passive state, but an active process that requires attention and discipline. Prioritizing sleep is not a sign of weakness, but a strategic investment in your health and longevity. It allows your body and brain to recover, strengthen immunity, and maintain cognitive functions. Good sleep is the foundation upon which all other healthy habits are built. Point 6. Social engagement and connection. The sixth and final habit, which is just as crucial as the physical aspects, is prioritizing social engagement and connection. In a world that is becoming increasingly digital and isolated, especially for older adults, maintaining strong social ties is not just a pleasant addition to life, but a fundamental pillar of health and longevity. Loneliness and social isolation are recognized as serious health risk factors, comparable in their impact to smoking or obesity. Scientific research consistently demonstrates the profound impact of social connections on physical and mental health. People who maintain active social ties have a lower risk of developing cardiovascular disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. They also live longer and report higher levels of happiness and well-being. A study published in PLOS Medicine in 2010 analyzed data from over 300,000 individuals and concluded that strong social connections increase the chances of survival by 50%, which is comparable to quitting smoking. For older adults, social isolation can be particularly devastating. It can lead to cognitive decline, worsening physical health, an increased risk of falls, and even premature death. The sense of belonging and purpose that social connections provide is a powerful buffer against stress and age-related diseases. It stimulates the brain, supports emotional balance, and gives people a reason to stay active and engaged in life. So, how do you maintain and develop social connections? It doesn't necessarily mean attending large parties or constantly socializing with crowds. For some, it might be a regular phone call with a friend or family member. For others, it's joining a hobby club, volunteering, or attending community events. The key is to find what works for you and fits your comfort level. Here are some practical ideas. Join groups or clubs. This could be a book club, a hobby group, a dance class, a chess club, or a walking group. Shared interests are an excellent way to forge new connections. Volunteer. Helping others not only benefits the community, but also provides a sense of purpose and an opportunity to meet like-minded individuals. Regular contact. Schedule weekly or monthly calls, video chats, or meetups with friends and family. Consistency is important. Attend local events. Local libraries, community centers, and churches often host events that are great opportunities for socializing. Use technology. If physical meetings are difficult, video calls can help maintain connections with loved ones who are far away. Consider Edith, an 85-year-old woman who became very withdrawn after her husband's death. Her children noticed she had become apathetic and lost interest in her former hobbies. At their insistence, Edith reluctantly joined a local gardening club. At first, she felt awkward, but gradually she began to interact with other members. Sharing gardening tips and working together on projects gave her a sense of purpose and belonging. Soon, Edith looked forward to the weekly meetings. Her mood improved, she became more active, and even her memory seemed sharper as she recalled plant names and new techniques. Edith's story demonstrates that social connection is not just a nice-to-have. It's a vital component of health. It nourishes the spirit, stimulates the brain, and gives people a reason to wake up each morning. In older age, when social circles may shrink due to loss of loved ones or reduced mobility, actively seeking new connections or strengthening existing ones becomes critically important. It's an investment in your happiness, resilience, and longevity. Conclusion. The 6 habits discussed in this material, morning hydration, daily brisk walking, deep breathing and mindful calm, cold water exposure, quality sleep, and social engagement, individually seem simple, but their cumulative effect can transform your health and well-being, especially after age 60. They don't require large financial investments or extreme efforts. They only require consistency, patience, and a willingness to listen to your body. By starting with 1 or 2 habits and gradually adding the others, you can build a powerful foundation for a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. These habits are not just ways to avoid illness. They are pathways to unlocking your body's innate potential for self-healing, to gaining mental clarity, to boosting energy levels, and to experiencing a profound sense of joy and purpose. Start today. Your future self will thank you. Even 10 minutes can make a difference, and you can gradually increase the duration as your stamina improves. Invest in comfortable, supportive footwear to protect your joints. Consider walking with a friend or listening to music to make the experience more enjoyable and motivating. The beauty of walking lies in its unparalleled accessibility. You don't need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or a personal trainer. All that's required is a pair of shoes, a safe place to walk, and a firm commitment to dedicate time to yourself daily. Over time, this habit can restore energy, improve mobility, and bring back a sense of independence that is sometimes lost with age. Point 3. deep breathing and mindful calm. The third habit might seem unconventional, but its impact on human health is undeniable. It involves the daily practice of deep breathing combined with mindful calm. This practice, taking just 5 to 10 minutes a day, can profoundly transform your physical and mental health, effectively reducing stress levels, decreasing inflammation, and supporting cognitive function, immunity, and overall body resilience. For those over 60, when stress and inflammation can subtly undermine health, this habit is a true breakthrough. Let's start with the science behind deep breathing. When a person takes slow, purposeful breaths that expand the diaphragm, the muscle located beneath the lungs, they activate the parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest, or rest and restore system. This action effectively counteracts the fight or flight response, driven by the sympathetic nervous system, which is often overactive due to chronic stress for financial difficulties, health issues, or social isolation. Common challenges for older adults. Deep breathing helps lower cortisol levels, reduces heart rate, and calms inflammation, which is a primary driver of many chronic conditions, including heart disease, arthritis, and neurodegenerative disorders like dementia. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Physiology convincingly showed that diaphragmatic breathing significantly improves heart rate variability, HRV, a key indicator of cardiovascular health and stress resilience. Higher HRV is associated with better heart health and a lower risk of stroke, which is critically important for older individuals. Additionally, deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, a major nerve connecting the brain to the heart, lungs, and digestive system. This stimulation improves digestion, regulates blood pressure, and fosters a sense of calm, which can significantly enhance sleep quality and mood. Now, let's add mindful calm to this. This doesn't mean complex meditation or chanting mantras. It's simply the practice of sitting quietly, observing your thoughts without judgment, and allowing your mind to settle. When combined with deep breathing, it creates a kind of mental shower, clearing the cognitive clutter that accumulates from daily stressors. For older adults, especially those living alone or coping with grief or anxiety, this practice can be deeply grounding and soothing. It promotes emotional resilience, reduces feelings of loneliness, and even boosts immune function by lowering stress hormones, as shown by research published in Psychosomatic Medicine in 2018. So how do you do it? Find a quiet place. This could be your favorite armchair, a park bench, or even just your bed. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if it's comfortable, and practice a simple breathing pattern. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4, and slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Repeat this for 5 to 10 minutes, focusing solely on the sensation of your breath. If your mind wanders, and it inevitably will, gently bring it back to your breath without any frustration. Over time, this practice becomes easier and its beneficial effects become more pronounced. Consider Frank, an 82-year-old widower who had battled high blood pressure for over a decade. Frustrated by medication side effects, he was skeptical when his granddaughter suggested trying deep breathing and mindful calm. But he decided to dedicate 10 minutes each morning before breakfast, using a simple breathing app to keep him on track. Within 2 months, his blood pressure readings significantly improved. He became less irritable and rediscovered his love for reading, which he had given up due to concentration difficulties. Frank's experience highlights the biological power of this habit. By calming the nervous system, deep breathing creates a cascade of benefits that ripple throughout the body, from improved digestion to sharper cognition. This practice isn't about achieving perfection or emptying your mind. It's about giving your body and brain a moment to reset. For older adults, it's a way to reclaim control over a body that might feel unpredictable or a mind that seems scattered. It sends a powerful message to every cell. You are safe, you are supported, and you can heal. To begin, set a daily reminder, perhaps linking it to another habit, such as your morning glass of water or evening wind down. If 10 minutes feels too long, start with 3 minutes and gradually increase. Dedicated apps can guide you. but a timer and a quiet space are all you truly need. This habit is a foundational one that amplifies the benefits of hydration and walking. By reducing stress and inflammation, it creates an internal environment where your body can repair, regenerate, and thrive. Day by day, you'll notice sharper clarity, reduced tension, and a renewed sense of energy. It's a quiet yet powerful transformation, proving that small actions can yield extraordinary results. Point 4. Cold water exposure. The notion of cold water exposure might conjure images of daring individuals plunging into icy lakes or athletes enduring harsh training. But this practice is far more accessible and significantly more beneficial than it initially appears. Becoming a cornerstone in the realms of longevity, health, and holistic healing, cold water exposure is a surprisingly simple yet potent habit that anyone, especially older adults, can integrate into daily life. Far from requiring extreme measures like ice swimming or ice baths, this practice can be as gentle as a brief cool shower, splashing your face and hands with cold tap water, or even immersing your hands in cold water for a few moments. These small, deliberate contacts with cold water can trigger a cascade of physiological responses that enhance circulation, reduce inflammation, elevate mood, and strengthen the body's resilience, offering a natural, drug-free pathway to vitality. When your skin comes into contact with cold water, even for a fleeting 15 to 30 seconds, your body initiates a controlled stress response known as hormesis. This is a process where mild stressors stimulate adaptive, health-promoting changes. It begins with vasoconstriction, where blood vessels temporarily narrow to conserve heat, followed by vasodilation, where they reopen, significantly improving blood flow. This dynamic enhances oxygen delivery to tissues, supports cardiovascular health, and facilitates nutrient distribution throughout the body. Simultaneously, the cold triggers a slowing of the heart rate and a release of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter and hormone that not only dampens inflammation but also elevates mood, sharpens mental clarity, and boosts alertness. In essence, cold water exposure acts as a natural reset, kick-starting sluggish systems and prompting the body to operate with greater efficiency and energy. Historically, our ancestors were regularly exposed to fluctuating temperatures, wading through cold streams, bathing in frigid rivers, or enduring bracing mornings without the luxury of modern heating. These natural stressors kept their bodies adaptable, their vascular systems robust, and their immune responses sharp. In contrast, modern life, with its climate-controlled homes, heated blankets, and long hot showers, has enveloped us in comfort, potentially diminishing our physiological resilience over time. Cold water exposure reintroduces this primal stimulus, strengthening the vascular system, improving the body's ability to cope with stress, and stimulating the lymphatic system, which plays a critical role in flushing out toxins and waste. For older adults, whose circulation, immune function, and detoxification processes often slow with age, this practice is particularly transformative, offering a gentle yet effective way to revitalize the body. The scientific evidence supporting cold water exposure is extensive and continually growing. A 2016 study published in Medical Hypothesis suggested that cold showers could alleviate depressive symptoms by activating the sympathetic nervous system and increasing endorphin production, creating a natural antidepressant effect. Similarly, a 2014 study in the Journal of Physiology demonstrated that regular cold exposure improved immune function, with participants reporting fewer infections over time. Another compelling finding from a 2014 study published in Diabetes showed that cold exposure activates brown adipose tissue, a metabolically active fat that burns energy to generate heat, aiding in blood sugar regulation and body temperature control. For older adults concerned about diabetes, weight gain, or a sluggish metabolism, this brown fat activation can be a significant boon, supporting overall metabolic health without the need for strenuous exercise or radical dietary changes. For those hesitant to embrace cold water, the key is to start small and prioritize consistency over intensity. You don't need to jump into an ice bath or endure prolonged discomfort. Begin by ending your regular warm shower with 15 to 30 seconds of cool water, gradually increasing the duration as your body adapts. Alternatively, try splashing your face, neck, or hands with cold water each morning, or immersing your hands and forearms in a bowl of cold water for 30 seconds. These small actions can yield profound results. Consider the story of Gloria, a 76-year-old retiree who struggled with chronic joint pain, stiffness, and a persistent brain fog. Where her grandson suggested cold water splashes, she laughed, dismissing it as a fad for the young and robust. But curiosity got the better of her, as she began ending her daily shower with 30 seconds of cold water. The first few days were uncomfortable, but within 2 weeks, she noticed remarkable changes. Her mornings felt clearer, her knees less stiff, and her mood unexpectedly improved. "It's like I'm shocking myself awake. Not just my body, but my whole spirit," she said. By the end of the month, her joint pain had noticeably decreased, and she felt more energetic and engaged in daily life. This practice is especially valuable for older adults, as it addresses multiple age-related concerns simultaneously. Beyond improving circulation and reducing inflammation, cold water exposure boosts mental resilience, helping to combat the lethargy and emotional dips that can accompany aging. It also supports the body's natural detoxification processes by stimulating lymphatic drainage, which can slow down with age, leading to toxin buildup and weakened immunity. Furthermore, the activation of brown fat offers metabolic benefits that can help older adults manage weight and blood sugar levels, reducing the risk of chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes. The beauty of cold water exposure lies in its simplicity. No gym memberships, no expensive equipment, just a willingness to embrace a brief moment of discomfort for long-term gain. To integrate this habit, start with a manageable approach. If a cold shower feels daunting, try incorporating cool water for the last 15 seconds of your shower, focusing on your arms, legs, or back. Alternatively, each morning, fill a bowl with cold water and immerse your hands or splash your face. Aim for daily consistency, even if the exposure is brief. Over time, you might find yourself craving this invigorating sensation, as it becomes a signal to your body and mind that you are ready to meet the day. Try it for a week and notice the subtle shifts in your energy, mood, and physical comfort. Cold water exposure isn't about enduring punishment. It's about rediscovering the body's innate vitality and reconnecting with the natural rhythms that have sustained humanity for millennia. Point 5. Deep breathing rituals. Breathing is the most fundamental act of life, so automatic and unconscious that it often goes entirely unnoticed. Yet, how one breathes, especially after reaching the age of 60, holds a profound power to either exacerbate chronic conditions or actively contribute to combating them. Deep, purposeful breathing, practiced for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, is a deceptively simple habit with the potential to lower blood pressure, sharpen memory, boost immunity, reduce anxiety, and even decrease the risk of serious conditions like stroke or heart disease. Far from requiring advanced yoga techniques, esoteric meditative practices, or specialized equipment, this ritual involves conscious, slow inhalations that anyone can perform anywhere, at any time. Backed by robust scientific evidence and accessible to all, deep breathing is a cornerstone of active aging, offering a pathway to resilience and bodily renewal. When one practices deep, diaphragmatic breathing, inhaling deeply into the abdomen rather than superficially into the chest, the body undergoes remarkable physiological shifts. This practice activates the parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and restore mode, which effectively counteracts the chronic fight-or-flight state experienced by many older adults due to stress, loneliness, health concerns, or the cumulative pressures of modern life. Chronic shallow breathing, prevalent in today's fast-paced world, keeps the body in a low-level stress state, elevating cortisol, promoting inflammation, and disrupting the nervous system's delicate balance. In contrast, deep breathing flips this switch, reducing stress hormones, oxygenating the blood, improving circulation, and optimizing the function of vital organs, including the heart, lungs, and brain. The scientific evidence supporting the beneficial impact of deep breathing is compelling and extensive. A 2018 study published in Frontiers in Immunology demonstrated that diaphragmatic breathing significantly reduces cortisol levels and enhances immune function, helping the body fight off infections more effectively. Another study, published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine in 2017, showed that regular deep breathing lowered blood pressure in hypertensive patients within weeks, offering a non-pharmacological approach to cardiovascular health. Perhaps most exciting for older adults is the link between deep breathing and brain health. A 2020 study published in Nature revealed that controlled breathing techniques improve brain plasticity, its ability to form new neural connections and adapt. This is critically important for combating age-related cognitive decline, memory loss, and even the risk of dementia, as it increases oxygenation and reduces neural stress. Thus, deep breathing helps keep the mind sharp, focused, and adaptive. Consider the story of George, an 81-year-old retiree who struggled with short-term memory lapses, insomnia, and a general feeling of fogginess in his head. Despite trying supplements, cutting caffeine, and engaging in cognitive exercises like puzzles, he saw little improvement. His daughter, a nurse, introduced him to the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhaling through the nose for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, and slowly exhaling through the mouth for 8 seconds. Initially, George dismissed it as New Age nonsense, but agreed to try it for 5 minutes each morning. Within a week, he noticed he was falling asleep faster at night. A month later, he could recall phone numbers and appointments without needing to write them down. After 3 months, his doctor reported a significant improvement in his blood pressure, with no changes to his medication. "My brain and body feel like they're talking to each other again," George remarked, marveling at how such a simple practice could yield such profound results. Deep breathing benefits extend beyond the nervous system and brain. Each diaphragmatic breath gently massages the internal organs, the lungs, liver, kidneys, and intestines. This improves digestion, aids in toxin elimination, and enhances nutrient absorption, processes that tend to slow with age. Such internal stimulation can alleviate common age-related complaints like bloating, constipation, or a sluggish metabolism. Moreover, deep breathing fosters a profound sense of reconnection for older adults who often feel alienated from their own bodies, as if they no longer recognize or trust the vessel they inhabit. By dedicating just a few minutes each day to conscious breathing, feeling the rise and fall of the abdomen, the rhythm of the breath becomes an act of self-reverence and presence, affirming, "I am still here, and this body still matters." Starting a deep breathing practice is remarkably simple. Find a quiet, comfortable spot, your favorite armchair, a park bench, or even your bed, and begin with 5 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, allowing your abdomen to expand, and exhale through your mouth for 6 to 8 seconds, making the exhale noticeably longer than the inhale. This elongated exhale signals safety to the nervous system, promoting deep calm and initiating healing processes within the body. This practice requires no special tools or classes, just a few minutes of your time over several weeks. This habit can significantly alleviate symptoms of anxiety, arthritis, digestive issues, and chronic fatigue, while simultaneously supporting heart health and mental clarity. It is a hidden fountain of youth, accessible to everyone, transforming how you feel, think, and move through the world, proving that the simplest actions can yield the most profound and lasting rewards. Point 6. Consistent sleep-wake schedule. Poor sleep is often perceived as an inevitable consequence of aging, a burden older adults must simply endure. However, this common misconception overlooks a powerful truth. Maintaining a consistent sleep-wake schedule, meaning going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends, can be one of the most effective habits for preventing chronic disease, enhancing mental clarity, and extending a vibrant, healthy life. By aligning one's daily routine with the body's 24-hour circadian rhythm, one optimizes crucial physiological processes, ranging from hormone regulation to tissue repair, building a foundation for well-being that surpasses even the most advanced medical interventions. The circadian rhythm is the body's internal clock, governing an intricate symphony of functions. These include the release of melatonin to induce sleep, cortisol production for daytime alertness, immune activity to fight infections, and tissue repair during deep sleep. As we age, this internal clock becomes less precise, disrupted by irregular bedtimes, late-night screen exposure, or erratic daytime naps. Such disruptions can wreak havoc on the body, contributing to blood sugar imbalances, memory lapses, weakened immunity, and increased inflammation. A 2021 study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews compellingly linked irregular sleep patterns to an elevated risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even Alzheimer's, underscoring the critical importance of an ordered rhythm. Conversely, a consistent sleep-wake schedule restores order, allowing the body to anticipate and prepare for periods of rest and activity, optimizing hormone release and significantly enhancing restorative processes. Consider the example of Frances, a 78-year-old widow who had suffered for years from restless nights, daytime fatigue, and a persistent brain fog. She had tried sleeping pills, herbal teas, warm baths, and even meditation apps, but nothing provided lasting relief. Her grandson, a medical science student, suggested a simple but disciplined approach. Choose a fixed bedtime and wake-up time and adhere to it rigorously, regardless of how poorly she had slept the previous night. Skeptical but desperate, Frances set her bedtime for 10 p.m. and her wake-up time for 6 a.m. Within 3 weeks, she began waking up without an alarm. Her energy levels soared, and her arthritis flare-ups became less frequent and less severe. "My body finally knows what to do," she said, marveling at the method's simplicity and effectiveness. The predictability allowed her brain's lymphatic system, its built-in cleaner, to more effectively clear waste proteins associated with neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. This process occurs most efficiently during deep sleep. A consistent sleep schedule offers far-reaching benefits. It stabilizes hormones like melatonin, which promotes natural sleep, and cortisol, which supports daytime alertness and immune balance. When these hormones are out of sync, older adults can feel tired during the day but wired at night, a frustrating pattern that exacerbates stress and undermines overall health. A 2019 study published in Nature Communications showed that sleep irregularity can be as detrimental as sleep deprivation, significantly increasing risks for obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular issues. In contrast, rigorously adhering to a stable sleep-wake schedule significantly reduces overall stress levels, actively supports optimal cardiovascular health, and noticeably improves digestive processes, harmonizing all bodily functions with predictable natural cycles. To successfully implement this vital habit, you must consciously choose a bedtime that allows for a full 7 to 8 hours of nightly rest, aligning as closely as possible with your individual natural rhythm. For example, this could be from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. It is crucial to adhere strictly to this established schedule, even if the previous night was restless. Furthermore, you should strictly avoid heavy meals, caffeine, or using electronic screens for at least 1 hour before your intended bedtime. It is recommended to create a special pre-sleep ritual that will serve as a clear signal to your body that it's time to transition to rest. This could involve listening to calm, relaxing music, listening to calming music, doing light stretching, or reading a peaceful book that promotes relaxation. Gradually, over time, your body will begin to strongly associate these signals with the onset of sleep, making the process of falling asleep easy and natural. This habit might not be the most impressive or noticeable, but it is fundamental. It effectively resets your health daily, actively supporting optimal brain, heart, and immune system function without requiring any medication or financial cost. We are deeply grateful that you joined us on this insightful journey in a simple yet profoundly transformative habits. These practices can radically change your health and vitality, especially for those over 60. The recommendations shared are more than just advice. They form a solid foundation for consistently restoring your energy, achieving mental clarity, and finding true joy in life, step by step, day by day.